Does weed make you more feminine? Guys, coming at you from the beach over here, just out on a nightly walk, Saturday night. Been a bit of an introspective day because I relapsed. I did not relapse from porn. I did not relapse from semen retention. Don't worry. I relapsed from smoking weed. Okay. At this point, looking back, I consider that weed is my vice. Okay. I wouldn't say that it is something that is recurring because I spent like 6-8 months without it. But at this point, when I look back at the experience I went through today, I would say that my engagement in the behavior of smoking weed was an expression of vice, right? Now, what exactly is vice? So I would consider a vice anything where you sacrifice the future for the present. Anytime that you do something right now that you know will not benefit your future. So let me just share some of my backstory in terms of my relationship with weed, right? So it's been like 10 years since the first time that I smoked a joint, and it's definitely been a complicated relationship to say the least, right? Because there's times where I go too much, and definitely I can see how that affects my inability to move towards where I want to go, right? Because it holds me back from taking right action. But the question is, why would I even engage in the habit if I don't gain something from it, right? So the reason that I ended up picking up weed after a pretty long time was because I felt like I needed to go into my feminine a bit more. Right now, let me explain. So over the past couple of weeks, I've been really into taking that action, like doing a lot, right? Doing a lot in terms of what I thought I needed to do and moving towards that direction. And now I have a lot of feedback in terms of what I can actually do with that information that I've gathered after actually taking action, right? And the thing with weed is, the reason that I tend to engage in the habit and the reason that I actually ended up buying it is because it tends to put me into that receptive state whereby I can go and reflect on what is going on, right? So sometimes I tend to get too caught up in that do mentality, and then there's not enough time to actually get perspective and look at why I was just doing what I was doing, right? So weed for sure definitely provides a space for me to get more receptive and get more reflective in terms of why I'm doing even what I'm doing, right? But the place where it becomes a vice is when I smoke more than is needed, right? So like with all of these plants, right, they're tools at the end of the day, but they're only tools until they start using you, right? If you're getting the benefit of reflection, like for me personally, getting the benefit of reflection from it, like getting the information, I'm like, okay, I'm clear on what I need to do moving forward. But at that moment, that's it. Like I've gotten the message and the message has to be integrated now. But there's a tendency that I see in myself to go on the extreme, right? So it's like, okay, I have some weed lying around, I'm just gonna smoke it, finish it, and just keep smoking it till it's finished, right? So there's this tendency to go to the other end of the spectrum whereby it's like too much in the feminine and you're just smoking. And at least I'm just speaking from my personal experience, right? Like, I think that's a huge problem that we have in modern society, whereby people are too attached to the ideas, they become dogmatic, or like, oh, okay, this must be true, but nothing is true other than what is true for you based on your own experience, right? So what I can do is just share my experience, what I'm doing right now, and take from it what you can, but never think that it's true until you actually experience what is true for yourself, right? So just on a side note over there, but for me personally, I've noticed a tendency to go too much into the extreme, right? Go smoking too much, getting too much into that feminine to the point where taking action right now does not become integrated, right? I've seen this tendency with a lot of people who are into the plant medicines, whether it's weed, whether it's ayahuasca. It's like you get the information, you get the downloads, right? But then are you actually integrating it and doing something with it, right? You're more receptive, but then you have to go back into the state of actually being productive with that information as well and integrating it. So like I said, at this point, looking back, I definitely consider weed as a vice for myself. It's like I'm sacrificing my future for my present, whereby I am not actually following through with integrating the downloads that I get because of this tendency to go too much into the extreme, right? So just an update from my end. Definitely going to be integrating moving forward into the week ahead, and just another time for me to be more receptive coming out here on the beach, you know, walk barefoot, get that grounding in, get that immune system going, get that foundation and set, and getting the sight focused for the time ahead as well for myself, right? So at this point, just going to continue on with the walk. Wanted to shoot this quick video for you, and I hope that it has been valuable, because I know that a lot of people actually go through this motions of weed and are unclear on exactly whether it is a vice or a virtue for them, right? Because I know it has a role in expanding your awareness, being more receptive, but it definitely does put you in the feminine to the point where you get all these ideas, you're more receptive to what is going around, you're more receptive to energy. But until you actually integrate that stuff into your life and actually do something with it and have a new experience with it, then it's basically just getting caught up in the fantasy, right? It's about balancing the masculine and feminine polarities within us. We all have them, but actually harmonizing them is the key to creating the results in your life, right? So just some thoughts running through my mind as I walk on the beach over here, but I hope that you gain some nuggets of wisdom from this. But at the end of the day, remember that the only thing that's true for you is what's true for you based on your experience. Never take anything at face value. Go and apply it, and, you know, have the experience for yourself so that you can actually gain the wisdom from it. So that being said, this has been Mo signing off. Hope it has been valuable for you.